Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's episode of the GGvision Starcraft 2 Colosseum with me, Sebastian Sjöberg, and our Gladiator of the Week, Grubby, here fighting as the blue Protoss in the lower right starting position of Shakuras Plateau, the MLG version of this map, versus his opponent and challenger, Empire.Kas, as the red Terran here in the lower left. He is the Ukrainian Terran Menace that took the third place in the recently concluded Teamliquid Starleague, and he is known for his fearsome laddering. He plays so many games and has, some people say, quite reactive style. Since he plays so much, he simply needs to, in order to win, being able to react to what the opponent is doing. So allegedly his style is less provocative, less fearsomely aggressive, but rather he pokes holes in the opponent whenever he can find them, and that has proven to be very versatile. He took down Mouse Hasu in the semi-finals, I suppose you could say, in the Teamliquid Starleague, a very fearsome Protoss player and former Gladiator here in the GGvision Colosseum. So he definitely knows how to beat Protoss, but Grubby, he is, as we have seen, capable of dealing terrible damage, and here in this Gladiator week he has shown precisely that, now going out to scout. And he will probably be finding Cas right away, yes, usually that is the scouting pattern. And he is, as we've seen, capable of both shenanigans and tricks, but whenever he can put himself into the late game, Grubby, he is very fierce, and that's when his skill really comes to show. And we'll just have to see if he can push that advantage onto Cas and see if he can put himself in that sort of position, because then Grubby is indeed very deadly. But over here in Cas land we see a very quick refinery and a very interestingly placed barracks. This is now an orbital command following that. This is, I would say, an aggressive opening and an aggressive positioning, because not only has he placed his barracks right here rather than up here where they can use it as a wall to prevent scouting and attacking units, but down here where the SCV can be put back to mining immediately, following this up with a tech lab and a very quick gas. That would lead me to believe that Reapers are on the way, or something even worse, perhaps going for quick blue flamed Hellions or some sort of mid-game tech very early. So very interesting opening from Cas, somewhat unorthodox, and this will be very interesting. I've had many recommendations about this game, so I've been told it's indeed a true testament of both players' skill, and cybernetics core going down for Grubby, and Cas complaining that this is the wrong map. In either case, wrong map or right map, it's a very good battlefield, and I would say a fairly balanced map, especially in this matchup, though I miss the older version where this ledge here was actually a ramp obstacled by destructible rocks, which now has been moved. But in any case, I have good hopes for this game being truly epic and a true testament to Grubby and Cas's skills. I would suspect that Grubby would follow up Cas's expansion with a Nexus. Right here it comes. Cas has transitioned into an economy build rather than any early aggression, but here we do have a Reaper out, and sorry for missing that earlier, ladies and gentlemen. It's already 2 kills, and we'll have to follow that in picture, but now he's retreating out of there, having successfully taken out 2 probes and inflicted not just minor economic damage, but also gaining first blood and gaining momentum. Still, Grubby is ahead of 2 probes and now going for a second gas. And Cas will have to make up for that with mules, but no problem really. And now a Zealot up here in Cas's business, but that is easily dispatched. And further units, we see no more Reapers being built, transitioning into Marauder production, now transferring SCVs. Whereas in Grubby land he has been focusing a lot on sentries along with his stalkers, and maybe he will try to poke a few holes or do a light contain. And that's very interesting to see. Grubby, of course, wants to put himself into that late mid-game and late-game situation. I feel that he is most comfortable there, and anyway, trying to break fortified Terran like this is very difficult indeed, and I don't think Grubby is that gimmicky a player. This Reaper now again tries to be versatile and gets a lucky probe kill, which is again another victory, denying scouting for Grubby, forcing him to play in the dark. He's very far away from getting any observers. Here a second gateway going down, sorry, that would be a second and a third, and here the robotics. A 3-gate robo with a Nexus in between is indeed Grubby's way to go. Very powerful build, and it seems like we are transitioning into a bit of a macro game with harassment on top. Let's see if Grubby can do any counter attacks to this Reaper. Yet another probe will go down, so this is 4 kills for this Reaper, and again it's proving very versatile and forcing a wasted force field out of Grubby. That's always nice. If you can keep the mana low on those sentries, all the better. Further tech, we now see a factory down and the starport. I don't suspect that factory to actually produce any units. It's only there to gain starport tech, and we see a very classic Terran infantry bioball emerging here from Kas. Now this factory will indeed be used for scouting. I don't believe he has started any of the upgrades just yet. No concussive shells has not yet been upgraded, and we'll just have to see again. Another Reaper being produced, very interestingly. I might have missed if the first Reaper went down somewhere, but another one is on the go, and that's it's always nice to see. As I've been saying before in these casts, I do feel that Reaper usage is one of those undiscovered areas, unexplored areas of potential in StarCraft 2, where players will find a way of using them also in the late game, and not just as harassment units and scouting, but something truly versatile. We'll see that happen eventually, I'm sure, and some clever Terran player will show us how it's done. This factory landing only to disembark again, doing a bit of scouting but not really seeing too much. He doesn't know about the robotics yet, but he should definitely be aware that it's out there somewhere. Now Kas is moving out here with fairly a formidable force, and here's this Reaper coming again, trying to poke some holes in Grubby's back door while attacking from the front, and we see an expansion going up for Kas, but this Reaper is met by death. Nice one, Grubby. That's what we call star sense for you. As I said, another expansion going up for Kas while he is attacking. This is StarCraft 101, of course, but that's how you do it. When you attack, expand. And here a drop going down, but this will be discovered immediately. He needs to warp in more troops, though. These Marines can take out these Stalkers, and definitely a warp gate, if not more, Marines and Marauders. Sentries coming up. This definitely could cause a lot of hurt onto Grubby. One warp gate down, this pylon is doomed, and we'll just have to see in Kas, yes, very wisely, retreating out of there with all his troops, knowing that he inflicted a little bit of damage, but gained a lot of momentum psychologically and infrastructurally, if that was even a word. Looks like Grubby's gearing up to take another expansion of his own. I don't think he's aware of Kas's, but again, he should be expecting it at the very least. Thermal lance upgrade going up for Grubby now, and again the concussive shells now being upgraded, as well as ranged weapons for the Marines and Marauders. Good thing to see that they're not forgetting their concussive shells. We've seen that happen in very high level pro games, and that's always painful. Colossi now on the way, as well as a forge, and further gateways being produced to replace the one that was killed, and the second forge actually going down. Seems like Grubby is intent on getting ahead in the upgrade game. A Protoss player with Chrono Boost can of course always catch up on a Terran player who is ahead in upgrades, so that's a very versatile feature. It means they can delay that tech for quite some time and spend their money elsewhere. Again, looking at the supply, Kas is indeed ahead, 124 to 106, and now very nicely spotting an observer. That's always a sign of a very good Terran player, being able to see those little blimps in the sky and taking them down, because not only does it force Grubby to build a new one, he absolutely needs to have at least one, but it also denies him information. Kas has been very, very good at doing that throughout the game, but Grubby seems to have had enough of all this. Now he wants to show his Protoss might, but this is not the death ball he really wants. He just wants to contest for map control so that he can build this expansion in peace, and he's got quite a bit of scouting potential out there on the map, having control of both the towers. And here we see another medevac drop, very nice indeed. This is precisely what Kas needs to be doing, and using that Terran mobility to his advantage. using the fact that Protoss players always have the units in a death ball, but 2 Colossi will be able to take this out very easily. But it seems like the medevac, no, I think it will actually be taken down, but very nice counter maneuver there by Cas. I think the medevac will survive, yes. Had Grubby had Blink there, would have been a completely different story. Instead he's going for Zealot leg speed, as well as the Dark Shrine and his weapons level 1 soon being finished. Having a quick look at the unit count, we see 7 Vikings and 25 Marines and 19 Marauders, only 2 medevacs though, versus 4 Sentries, 15 Stalkers, 2 Colossi and 5 Zealots. And here's 1 Observer, and I don't think that will be alive too long. Cas is very good at those things, he might even be taking it out right now. Seems like he missed it. Anyway, here we see a bit of a clash coming out, a scan going down. One could see if there are any DTs there. Only 2 Colossi with this death ball right now. And this is all about a positional play right now. I really think Grubby should have gone for Blink Tech. He would have been able to make great use of that at this stage in the game, and we've seen how Blink can truly save the day. Here a siege is laid upon this expansion, forcing Grubby to engage. This Nexus is doomed, it will go down doubtlessly. And what will Grubby do to respond here? He has not a very good positional advantage at all. He's in a positional disadvantage, if anything, but he doesn't have too many medevacs up in the air cast. These Vikings will be able to take down the Colossi by Grubby forced to retreat. Force fields preventing the Marines and Marauders from pursuing. But the Vikings are proving quite a nuisance. Grubby can't really use the superior range of the Colossi to the utmost effect. And Cas's force is still very much alive and kicking, and he has discovered the probe up here, and well, he has probably not discovered these probes, which managed to flee. So if Grubby can save them from being killed, that's a small victory, and I have no idea what these SCVs are doing. Cas should not really be sacrificing SCVs at this point. Maybe that was a mis-rally. In either case, here's a battle ensuing again. Good force fields by Grubby, being able to pin down those Marines and Marauders. The Vikings are somewhere else. That Colossi being able to inflict terrible damage, but oh, and here we see an expansion going up in any case. That's very ballsy by Grubby. He knows that he really needs to do that. And armor level 1 just finished. Dark Templars pursuing the Marines and Marauders, and seems like Grubby has regained some of that map control that he formerly lost. But Cas is massing up for a counter-offensive. 184 supply versus 117. That is not good for a Gladiator of the Week. Grubby seems like he might be in a serious disadvantage, could potentially lose this game. Only now going for Blink upgrade, that is way too late. He prioritized Zealot leg speed, but he's never been able to really utilize those Zealots, and he frankly don't have too many of them, so that was a bit of a bad decision, to be honest. 3 Zealots, 1 Dark Templar, 3 Colossi and 16 Stalkers, and 1 Sentry in there just for kicks. Now taking a few pot shot at this army, but it's 29 Marauders, 13 Marines and 10 Evil Vikings. 3 medevacs now. 1 armor, 2 attack upgrade for those, so they're quite fearsome. And going further, even going for ship weapons and continuous upgrades. Grubby now going for immortal production. That's a fairly good choice, I'd say. Seems like this expansion is actually going up. These Marines could cause a bit of havoc, but yeah, and here they actually do just that. If it had a pylon up here, would have been able to warp in some troops, but maybe these probes will actually be able to take them out. But that's annoying for Grubby. He should have thought of that. Now it seems like the final battle is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. The Protoss force here is outmanned and outgunned. He needs to retreat, but he's retreating into a corner. Grubby, what the hell are you doing? This is not good at all for the Protoss king. He is definitely in a very bad spot, and he's losing his troops, and there he's forced to GG. That was somewhat of an anticlimactic ending to this game, ladies and gentlemen. Grubby, he could definitely win this, but he made somewhat a few bad calls along the way, and he was too passive. This expansion, basically Cas just walked into it. It was uncontested and unguarded, and I don't know exactly how Grubby allowed that to happen, but when Cas was fighting Grubby's troops from up here on the raised remains of what used to be his nexus, he could never connect and destroy that army, and from there it just went downhill. Cas played this very solidly, calmly and professionally, found the hole in Grubby's defense, abused it, it, and from there on it was just a matter of not making any further mistakes. Very nicely done by Cas, and Grubby, well, he'll be back tomorrow for the concluding game, which will be indeed an epic one of his week here in the GGvision Starcraft 2 Colosseum, so do stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching. I am Sebastian Sjöberg, and I'll see you tomorrow. GG and out.
Adjutant online. Building registered. Hostile